In London, Ngoc Minh Quan seems like just another quiet immigrant. His life revolves around his routine and, most of all, his daughter, Fan. One afternoon, he's at her school to get her, and she's full of energy about the school dance. As she gets in the car, she excitedly talks about her dress and introducing her boyfriend to him. She tells Quan to hurry because she wants a specific dress from a store in Knightsbridge. Fan, wanting her dress, jumps out and runs inside while Quan looks for parking. He finds a spot, but another car cuts him off. The two guys get out, ready to argue, but then a loud boom changes everything. A bomb explodes in Knightsbridge, killing Fan and others. Glass, debris, and smoke fly everywhere. The parking argument is forgotten. Quan is in shock, his ears ringing, not understanding what's happening. He sees Fan in the wreckage. He holds her body, crying. Ian Wood, a reporter, gets a scary call. Someone says they're from the authentic IRA and that they did it using the word Phoenix. They claim to be the authentic IRA using the code word Phoenix and warn more attacks will follow. The city is scared and sad after the attack, but Quan only wants one thing. He's always at the counter-terrorism command, waiting to see Commander Bromley. When they finally meet, Bromley tries to be understanding, but says the case is hard. The bad guys are dangerous, and they can't just give him names. Quan puts all his money, £20,000, on the desk, offering it for the names of his daughter's killers. Bromley refuses, calling Quan a grieving old man. He tells him to go home and let the police handle it, saying he'll only get hurt if he interferes. But Bromley messes up. He doesn't read Quan's file closely. Quan isn't just a cook. He was special forces in Vietnam, trained by the US military. His life has been one tragedy after another. After the war, he went to Singapore, but pirates killed his two oldest daughters. His wife died giving birth to Fan. Now that Fan is gone, he has nothing left to lose. Quan knows the law won't help, so he goes home. He enters Fan's room, thinking about the future they won't have. He looks at her things, his sadness turning into determination. He takes all the photos of his family and old news stories about their deaths and burns them. He's letting go of his life as a normal dad. He packs a bag, breaks his phone, gives his restaurant keys to his friend Lam, and drives off into the night. With no clues in London, Quan looks at Northern Ireland politics. He sees Liam Hennessy, the Deputy First Minister, on TV. Hennessy used to be an IRA commander, but now says he wants peace. Quan thinks Hennessy must know who the news bombers are. He calls Hennessy's office in Belfast all the time. Hennessy's assistant, Beth, tries to stop the call, but Liam eventually answers. Quan is polite, but asks for the names. Hennessy says he works for the government now and doesn't deal with terrorists. Quan listens and then says, "You will change your mind," before hanging up. He goes to Belfast and stays in a cheap hotel. He goes to Hennessy's office, acting like a weak old man. Hennessy's guards, Kavanagh and Murphy, are rude to him. They check his bag and find only alcohol, matches, and a small knife. They try to kick him out, but Hennessy stops them, wanting to talk to him. In his office, Hennessy says he quit the militant stuff 30 years ago. Quan leaves quietly, but stops in the restroom. He uses the stuff he brought to make a simple bomb. He sets a timer and leaves. Minutes later, the bomb explodes. It destroys the restroom and shakes the office. The bomb squad says it was meant to warn, not kill. Hennessy realizes the old man is way more dangerous than he thought. The bombing scares Hennessy. Quan calls him soon after, saying he planted the bomb and wants the names. Hennessy gets angry, but Quan hangs up. He just wants leverage. He goes back to his hotel and starts building his next bomb. Hennessy is even more worried when someone finds a second bomb on a car outside the office, along with a note that says, "Names." Hennessy tells Kavanaugh to find Quan and get rid of him for good. They find him at the guest house. The hit squad expects to beat up an old man. The landlady points them to his room, but Quan hears them coming and blocks the door. The thugs break in, but the room is empty. Quan is on the roof. They chase him, and a fight starts. Quan is outnumbered and old, but he fights hard. He uses the building to his advantage. He takes weapons, breaks bones, and gets away. He falls off the roof, but gets back in through a window and keeps fighting on the stairs. He escapes, leaving Hennessy's guys hurt and angry. Hennessy is mad, knowing this isn't just some normal guy. While Quan fights, Liam Hennessy is dealing with a lot. He's talking to Catherine Davies, a British minister, about pardons for his old IRA friends if he keeps the peace. But he's also mixed up in the violence he says he hates. He meets with Hugh McGrath, who controls hidden weapons. Hennessy isn't innocent. He allowed some trouble to get political power, but the bank bombing was too much. It was supposed to be about money, not killing people. Hennessy wants to fix things. He checks the IRA weapons to see where the explosives came from. Some Semtex is missing, meaning someone inside is helping the authentic IRA. He's in a tough spot, trying to find the bombers to please the British while protecting his own people. Quan disappears. He breaks his phone and hides his van with branches and mud. He drives to the countryside, following Hennessy to his farmhouse. Hennessy plans to hide his wife, Mary, there, thinking it's safe. But Quan is already there. He hides his van and watches the guards, learning their patterns. He gathers stuff and sets traps. While Hennessy does politics, Quan turns the area around his home into a dangerous place. Hennessy arrives with Mary and bodyguards, thinking he's safe. But Quan gets inside at night. He sneaks past the guards, planting a bomb in the kitchen of a small building. He also ties up 2 guards in the woods to scare Hennessy. Quan waits. When the bomb explodes, it destroys part of the house and causes chaos. Hennessy gets the message. He knows he messed up by underestimating Quan. The next morning, another bomb explodes under a car, killing a guard. Hennessy orders Kavanaugh to find Quan in the woods. "Bring a tracker," he says, "someone who knows the woods." They go into the forest with guns, ready to find him. But Quan controls the forest. He leads them into traps. Spikes, wires, and falling logs turn them into the hunted. Quan is like a ghost, attacking and disappearing. He captures Kavanaugh and tries to get names, but he won't talk. A fight starts, and Quan is shot in the shoulder. Hurt, but alive, he gets away, leaving Hennessy's men scared. While the fighting happens outside, things get bad inside Hennessy's group. Hennessy is having an affair with Maggie, trying to find comfort. His wife, Mary, is angry. She hasn't forgiven him for making peace with the British, especially after her brother, Patrick, was killed. She thinks Hennessy is betraying the cause. To find Quan, Hennessy calls his nephew, Sean Morrison, a good tracker who was in the British Army. Sean meets with Bromley in London to help, suggesting they use code words to find the bombers. Back in the countryside, Quan is still watching. He follows Hennessy to a restaurant where he meets Maggie. He takes photos of them kissing, proving Hennessy is cheating. That night, Quan gets past security and sneaks into the farmhouse. He enters Hennessy's bedroom while he's alone. Hennessy reaches for his gun, but Quan has it. Quan shows him he's wearing a suicide vest. He forces Hennessy to sit and shows him the picture of Maggie. He demands the names again. Hennessy says he doesn't know them yet, but explains the code word trap. He promises he'll have the names soon. Quan gives him 1 day. If he doesn't get the names, everyone dies. Things get worse. Another bombing hits a bus in London, killing more people. The terrorists call it in, but don't use the code words. They say they don't take orders from Hennessy anymore. Hennessy is embarrassed and scared. Bromley calls, threatening to destroy Hennessy's group if he doesn't get results. Hennessy's world falls apart when his team reports about Mary. She made the call from a hotel where she was secretly meeting Sean. She's been working with McGrath and the hardliners to hurt Hennessy. McGrath arrives at the farmhouse, thinking he's in charge. But Hennessy knows everything. He shoots McGrath in the foot and tortures him, forcing him to write down the names and locations of the bombers. The list shows that Maggie is working for the terrorists, watching him. After getting all the information, Hennessy kills McGrath. He now has the names Quan wants and the names Bromley needs to stop the next attack. Hennessy sends the details to Bromley in London to stop the bombers, but he also has to deal with things at the farm. He sends Sean into the woods with the bomber's location, but tells him to find Quan and end this. Sean goes into the forest, ready. He finds Quan's hideout, and the two soldiers fight. They use knives, sticks, and hand-to-hand combat. Quan is tired and hurt, but determined. He matches Sean. Quan gets the upper hand, but stops. He sees Sean as another soldier used by powerful men. Instead of killing him, Quan demands the names. Sean, realizing Hennessy is wrong and respecting Quan, gives him the information. Quan copies the location of the bomber cell in London. Quan lets Sean go. He returns to the farmhouse, knowing about Mary's betrayal. Hennessy tells Sean to go to New York after this is over. But first, they have to deal with the traitor. With the information, Quan races back to London. He finds the cell at an apartment. The terrorists are planning a big attack. Maggie has tricked Ian, a reporter, into carrying a bomb, disguised as a laptop battery in his bag. Ian is supposed to fly to a conference in Rome with British officials. He doesn't know he's a suicide bomber. Quan enters the apartment disguised as a gas man, claiming there's a gas leak. He knocks, saying there's a gas leak. The terrorists are suspicious, but the landlady makes them let him in. Quan sees Patrick, the leader, and notices the burns on his hands from making bombs. The tension is high. The terrorists tell Quan to empty his tool bag. He does, revealing a submachine gun. Quan opens fire. The apartment becomes a war zone. Quan moves quickly, taking out the terrorists. He's driven by Fan's memory. Maggie is shot, screaming. Patrick fights back, but Quan overpowers him and kills him, avenging his daughter. Bromley's team storms the flat and finds one survivor, Maggie. They interrogate and torture her for the details of the final bomb. Under pressure, she reveals the key clue. The bomb is planted inside Ian's laptop. Maggie is executed to tie up loose ends. Police rush to the airport and stop Ian just in time. They throw the laptop into an empty jet bridge seconds before it explodes, preventing a massacre. The threat is gone, but the consequences are just beginning. Bromley stops looking for Quan, admitting he did the job the police couldn't. However, he wants to deal with everyone involved. Hennessy gets a call from Catherine Davies. She says he'll keep his job for now, but he's under her control. His dream of being a powerful leader is gone. He's now controlled by the British government. Back in Belfast, Hennessy sends Sean to Mary's hotel room. Sean kills her. It's a way to erase the woman who betrayed them. Hennessy returns home, thinking it's over, but Quan is waiting for him one last time. Quan holds the picture of Hennessy kissing Maggie. He forces Hennessy to upload it to the internet, showing the affair and the connection to the bomber. Hennessy tries to apologize, saying he didn't want Fan to die. The story ends where it began, at the restaurant in London. Quan returns to his kitchen. His friend Lamb is relieved to see him. Across town, Commander Bromley gets a report. Quan is back at his restaurant. Bromley orders his men to stand down. He knows justice was served, even if it wasn't done properly. He touches his scars. He has avenged Fan. The soldier is gone, but the father will never forget.